Today we're going to put together the robotic arm edge. The first thing we need to do is lay out all the parts so you know and are familiar with each piece. Let's begin. To begin our assembly, we're going to start with the gearbox. You will have two sets of these, which need to be clipped apart at each place they're together. Use a pair of clippers, go in and clip each set just like this. The next part is to put 4 nuts into the grooves here, 1, 2, 3, 4 on the gearbox. These nuts are very tiny, so you have to work very carefully. I'm using needle nose pliers, and the point of the nut goes up, so carefully place it in the groove with the point up. Just like that. And you will do 4 of these. Okay, that's 2. Okay, we're ready for our next step. We have our gearbox, and for this you want to have ready one of the black gears that is long, one blue gear, 2 gray gears, and 1 brown gear. Then you will have 2 pins and 4 screws. This time we will take this gear and just gently drop it into the hole here so that this part remains up. Next we'll take a pin, place in the middle, in the center of the hole, and then there's a little hole right here that the pin is gently pushed into that. Now, the next thing is to make sure you look at your gear. There's an underside that's deep, and then a smooth side. You want the smooth side up and place it right over the gear that you already have there, and then go with the gray gear with the little wheel down so it turns the gear as you do that. Next, take another gray gear, place it over the blue one, this in the same manner, and then it turns all of them. Make sure they're turning. And then a brown gear, and then when that turns, each one of them turns. This is going to be a very important part for you, and I'm going to make sure that this pin is down in there all the way. Yes, it is. Okay. Next, you will take a motor, and you're going to make sure this part is down. It's going to go like this. So I'm going to straighten this so it's not twisted. And in here I'm going to gently pick it up, and be careful not to knock your nuts out. There is a slot right through here. You're going to pull this wire right through, gently bring your gear down, and it will just sit in place. Notice how the gears will not turn now because this gear mechanism is touching. So once the motor works, that will work. Next, you'll take your gearbox cover and place it gently right on top. It snaps right on. Be careful of your bolts, don't knock them out of place, and see how it just covers and the bolts go here. Hold it firmly and take your wires and snap into the grooves here. That helps them guide right through there. So my wires are there. The next part, the 4 screws, 3 screws, I'm sorry, I said 4. You just drop them right down into the holes and they'll guide themselves because the holes are deep. And then take your screwdriver and turn them. Hold it firmly so you do not knock your bolts out. We'll continue this process until all 4 gearboxes are completed. As I finish up this last motor assembly, you may want to notice I have 2 blue and black assemblies and 2 orange and black assemblies. So make sure that you do not use the motor with the yellow and black on that. So we have our last cap. We'll put this on. Check my bolts, my nuts rather. They look great. Turn it over. Make sure my wires are tucked in. And again, drop my 3 screws in. Now it's time to assemble the base unit. Once again, we will have to clip all of the pieces apart. Use your clippers and gently, I'm going to turn it this way, gently clip and clip and clip until you have all the pieces clipped apart. Now that you have the base unit clipped apart, this part is very simple. This is step number 14 in the instruction book. Just press it down, guide the holes, press down, and the last one, press down. And that's the beginning of the base unit for the robot arm. Next, we'll take, for step number 15, one of the simple motors with the orange and black leads and just gently slip it right down into the slot that was on here. Now it's time to put the battery terminal connectors. You will have one with the orange lead wire. Then you will have one that has the spring side and then where the battery touches on this side and with the orange and black lead wire. We're going to start with the battery terminal connector here, and you will see the grooves here that it fits into. Wire down and just slide that in. Pull your wire out of the way. Then you'll have these, and they'll have some tabs, and you just bend them back. And these wires come straight up to you, and make sure this spring one is on the opposite side, and gently push it down until it snaps. And the same way with orange wire. Just put it in the groove and press down. Okay, now we have our battery terminal connectors. Now, we take the orange lead wire from the battery connector, and there is a place that you feed the wire all the way through. And you just gently snap this wire in into the grooves all the way up until you reach the top. The wire securely in place. And there, I have my wire all the way through. Next, let's take all of our wires and neatly secure them with a tie that you have and pull it taut so they're just not all over the place. Just keep them together. And now, and then clip the excess off. Next, we take the brackets. They look like this one and this one. We do the same as we've been doing, and we clip each one. Our next step will be to take this part and clip this cap that goes here. Clip this off. And remember to clip real close to everything so nothing is sticking out. And now push the wires down, put them right over it, and take this number 3 screws, and you'll have 3 of those, and go ahead and securely screw this down. At this point, you have 4 D-cell batteries, and we can go ahead and put those in. So we'll start here, put one this way, and this way, and then one here, and one here, and that's your batteries. Now, you take this plate that was clipped from here, and one of these, you put it into this, and there's 4 pegs that will show you where it goes. Secure that, turn it over, and place it right down on here. Now, you can use a washer, and it goes right into the center of this hole. And this time, make sure you're looking for a P14 screw. This screw has a different head. It looks like it has a washer around it, but you can look at your instructions to see what the P14 screw looks like. And screw it right down into the center. Next, you're going to look for this component on the plastics and clip it off. And I didn't get that close enough. Make sure you get that really close so you don't have anything sticking out. And you'll notice on this, there's 2 grooves here. One has a little thing that sticks out. That is going to go on one of the motors. One of the motors that has the black and orange lead wire. So we got the black and the orange. And at this point, this little thing, make sure it is going in the opposite direction of where the lead wires come out. And there's 2 holes here. You place this over it. You get 2 washers. And you can put those right into the slots. And you can drop the 2 P15 screws down into that. And then center that over your holes here and screw these in. Okay, now that we have the component attached, we're going to look at where the part that has a little leg on it, and on this there's a little hole right here which matches up. We're going to make sure our wires are not in there, and we're going to gently stick that down in there and make sure that goes down in there and it fits snug so it won't turn. And then we're going to use P12 screws. We should need 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 to put in those. So we'll go ahead and screw this on. Okay, and we now put our remaining motors on these, and it goes just like this. Put both of the wires up facing each other and right into the holes, and we will use P15 screws to screw those on. And this will finish up our arm. And there you have it. The wires are coming out. You had 8 screws that went in both sides of this, and both of these are facing the same direction. Okay. Next, we need these 2 components from this. This is component 2 and component 3, and we will clip these off. These go together facing in like this. One side has a little protruding part here. See if you can see it right there. And you use a screw P13 to put these together. So I'm just going to drop down a P13 and then screw that in to hold it together. If I can hold it together and put it down, that might help. Now, we take this part, and where this is the back and this is the front or whatever, the gears are this way. Well, this part has a protruding edge here, you can see. These have protruding pipes in them, and this slides right on over that. All 3 of these are on one side. This side are all flat. And we use screws P12 to put this together. And it just holds on. And we'll screw all 4 screws in. Next, we're ready to assemble the arms. So we're going to need these 2 pieces. This is E2 So we're going to clip these. We'll need 2 of the cogs, which is F7. Okay, so now we have 2 cogs, and we can place these where the holes are here and here. We'll just line this up. It snaps right in. Once that's secure, what you'll do is have the other one, and this actually attaches the arm. So you're going to look at this side, so that means it's going to go this way. This black goes over the battery, like this. Actually, it goes this way. It goes like this, I'm sorry. And the cogs go this way on this. So you're going to do this, and you're going to do this, and I'm going to hold it, and then I'm going to put the ones over here on this side and this side. And this time we're going to use P14 screws to attach these. Now, the robot's arm has been assembled onto the base unit. Now it's time to start constructing the gripper. So we're going to need N1, so we're going to clip this out. I'm going to get as close as you possibly can. And now we take this and we put the pins. The shorter one goes in the front and the longer one goes in the back, just like that. You'll see that. And we start with the brown gear here, go with the gray and it turns, another gray here and it turns, a blue here, and then this white one sits right into that one. Now I've already clipped this component, and it is an arm that goes right here. You'll see a hole, and these sit right in here. And then the top part, well, next we have the motor. The motor goes this way, sits right into it, cradles right here. Make sure the black lead wire is on the top, just like this. And the other component that looks exactly the same goes right down over this. Fit it in the gear. And don't clip your wires. Let's see. And snap. Make sure everything works. And we use screws P11. We have 1, 2, move your wheel. There's 3 and 4. Gets dropped right down in there. And then we can just screw these right in. Next, we're going to clip the N5 and N6. And that just fell off. And this is going to be very carefully done, because one goes here over this, the gear, the N6, and the N5 goes here, but they need to be the same distance apart, and they fit into each other. I don't know if you can see that, but they're like gears as well. And this is for the gripper on the arm. And we use screws P11 to secure these. Okay, now that one's secure, and this one is secured by a P17. It's a little different, so I'll go ahead and screw that in. Be very careful with these. Okay, now those are there. That's already in there. Was it? Oops. Notice how the gears already work. I have attached this component with the arm that we just clipped with a P11, and now we're going to clip an N7 and this goes through right here, and gently hold that, and you need a P17, and the other part that looked like this one, it's a gear, and it's sort of symmetrical. It goes the same distance apart, and you insert the P17 through there, and then gently screw that in. Remember, when you're dealing with plastic, you still don't want to over tighten anything, or you will strip the plastic. And I think that got it right there. Okay, here we have that, and that's the gear. Now, let's clip another N7 and N8. Only clip as I use them, so I don't forget what is what piece. So I have an N7 here and an N8 here. So this is more narrow than this side. So this is where we insert here at the front. We're going to put this here and this up here, which will be like this. Gets inserted. Okay. And we also use this again, so we're going to go ahead and put this in here and put this here and through here, and then screw that in. That was a P17. Okay, there you have the N7 and N8, and this will go just like we did before. This goes here, and you want to P17, and you want it to go here on top. Let's just put our screw in there first. This goes in, just like this. Get ready to put this in. This is down, and the screw will hold all of it in. Okay, and we'll go ahead and clip the other in 7 and in 8. And I have the same thing, another P17. I'll put this through there. Hold this here and put this right through the hole. Just lift it out just a bit so I can get this in there. And the screw will go in to hold it all together. Oh, come on. Okay, so you can see it's rather difficult to hold it all at one time. And then just tighten the screws. Now we're ready to go on to some of our final steps. Now we're ready to start with the grippers. So we're going to go ahead and clip that. That's going to be in 3. And in 4 for the grippers. Once you have the grippers cut, you have some pads for them. And you're just going to peel and stick right to the grippers. And that should be pretty flush when you're done. I think I got that one a little crooked. Let's move it over. Okay. There's my first gripper. And let's get this other gripper. And there's my second gripper. Okay, it's time to attach the grippers. And we're going to, if you hold this, look, just like this, everything's going to hang down. These two will be moved over here. And let's just work with these 4 to the far left first. These 4. So your gripper arms have 2 holes, one here and one here. So you can see that. So it will go between, and the best thing to do, you're going to work with the P16s, is to go ahead and line these up, your first one and last one, and put the P16 right through there, and hold it up until it lines up with the second one. Go ahead and screw that in a little bit to hold it, just till it catches maybe. And then do the same with the next hole. And I'm going to put my P16 right through there. And then screw that down until it catches. Okay, so there's one gripper, and it won't move yet because it's not on. So the second gripper, this one's a little different, so we're going to watch this. You have the 2 holes, just like you did and the other. This one goes toward this one. So we're going to start with this one first. So I'm going to put it between these two parts at the first hole and take my P16. Get that in there a little bit until it catches so it won't fall apart. Now this one goes up here and you turn it over and put the P16 in from the back side. And now we have our grippers. And I'll go ahead and tighten these screws. And there you have the gripper. Now we're ready to add the light, or the LED, into the gripper. It goes right here. As you can see this. Just push this right through. Pull it until it sits right into the resting place here. And we'll clip in 9. Okay. And it goes right over the LED, and there's a little flat space there, and it just slips right over. And that is our LED. Now all we do is we take this yellow shield, and there's 3 places here, 1, 2, and 3, and it has the pegs on the bottom. You just snap this right in. Make sure that's secure. I think so. That's it. And we have the completed gripper. Now it's time to add the gripper to our robot. So we're going to take this part with the motor and put right here. The cap that moved will snap right here. And we'll just let that hang for just a moment. I'm going to turn it so you can see what goes on here. And take components F7 and 8. This gear goes into here. These have pegs again. You can see the pegs here. It snaps right in to here. Missed it. Snaps right in. There we go. Now we heard it. And this piece, with these tabs up, will assemble right into here. Now we need to put a P14 into here. So I'm going to put that on the end of my screwdriver and just put it right in here. Tighten that a little bit. Don't over tighten. I think that's tight enough. Yep. Okay. Now, in here, we're going to also put a P14. at this point, you should have 2 E3s. The last piece is on this plastic. A little difficult to get off. Okay, there's both of those. And this is where we will put our arm together. Both of those. And with these, we will use P14s to assemble. Now that we have our robot arm and the grippers assembled, we will now put the battery cover over our battery case, and we will put the wires up through here. Make sure, oops, got one that shouldn't be there. Make sure you don't do that. And we will connect these with P13s. And you should have 3. 1, 2, and 3. Now it's time to connect our plates. So we have this one. We put the orange LED wire in this first groove. Just plug it right in. The red and black goes in this slot. Push that in. And the orange and black will go into this one. And then make sure that's plugged in all the way. I think I did. Okay. And this now will be connected to here. We're going to put them in the slots and use P12s to hold this down. Now that we have the screws in, just push these wires back up in here. We have the cover. It's got some little grips here, so we'll just stick that down in there. Make sure none of the wires are sticking out, and just slip that there. And screw this on with a P14. Okay, and that's that. Now it's time to connect the wires. Everything is numbered. There's an M, a 1, 2, 3, 4, and an L on here. So we're going to go, this first yellow and blue one will be the M1. So we're going to attach it right here. Firm in there. And then we have M2 would be the one further this way. We're going to go next to that one. M3 is the next one. It goes next. M4 is the orange and black one from the back here. And then we have the L, which is the LED, the light, and it goes to the final one. There. Our robot is all wired. We have the remote control to assemble yet, and I'm going to put some ties on these wires to keep them from being all over the place. I'll show you how to do that next. Now, let's take a look at our wires and see if we can get all these completed. We do have 3 foam clips, peel and stick, and we're going to put this about right here, so we can clip that there. And we're going to do one on the other side as well. If I can get it off. Okay. Let's get that one right over here, about in the same place. Alright. And there's those two. So we're going to take all the wires and put right into that clip. So here's one of them. And that makes a much neater wired bot. And this is our ready to go after we build the remote control. Now for our control box, we will need these two plates, the body. We'll need this PC board, the grippers, the handles, and this control box connectors here. You'll need a screwdriver, a cutter, and some needle nose pliers. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is set the plate on the bottom of the control box. You'll know it's the bottom because the top has where the switches go. Then we hold this and we put the metal plates on with the screws that are supplied. I'll go ahead and screw this one down so I don't have to hold it. Hold that plate straight. Okay. And then do each one of those. As you do the 5th plate, you make sure you turn it sideways. And tighten your screw. There. Now we have disconnected. Next, we'll clip M1, M2, M3, M4, and M5. These will be the handles that we'll be using in the last one. Okay. Now with these, we're just going to sit them. This is the switch box. You can see how that goes. And M5 goes here. So we'll put it right here. When we look at it, we'll see M5 is up. And we'll do M4. They're numbered inside M1, M2, M3, and M4. So you'll know exactly where to put them. M1. M2. M3. And M4. And I'm going to try to hold mine so I can see if I put them on the right way. M1, M2, M3, M4, M... Yes, yeah. Okay. So the next thing that we do is take our box and flip this over to where the switch goes where the switch is, and just put all that together and make sure that's in the right place. And it does snap, so you know that it's in the right place. There. And we just take our screws, drop them in, and tighten the screws. And once your screws are in, you have your finished product. Now, for the wiring of this, we bring the robot back to us, turn it around, and you will see right inside of here is where this will go. I'm going to take this tie off. Stretch my cord because I want to put it in there straight. And connect this to the plate in here.